this lesson, I want to teach you how to use the minor pentatonic on everything. The minor pentatonic is obviously beloved of us guitarists, and we know it well, hopefully. Well, I think most of us do. If you don't, probably shouldn't be watching this video, but I suspect you probably do. So, the minor pentatonic scale is great because it has no controversial notes. Okay, that might sound like a funny thing to say, but if I play over a C minor chord and I play all of my pentatonic notes, I don't have anything there which creates a problem. It's all very unified with that chord. Whereas if I play a natural minor or even a Dorian, some notes have a certain activity to them which makes them hard to use if you're not used to improvising on changes. So I think the minor pentatonic is a great way to start. And the other thing is it also has a very modern sound, especially when you break it up into like that, you know, into fourths and things and thirds. It gives it more of a kind of angular feeling, and because it doesn't really have this controversial, what I think of the controversial notes or the moving notes which want to go from one chord to the next, it has a floating neutral vibe which makes it very suitable for more modern styles of playing and improvising and writing. So I want to give you a demonstration of how to apply this idea over Autumn Leaves. But the first thing you've got to understand in order to get anything out of this is that I divide basically everything down into two types of chords. So there's static chords, which are minor seventh and major seventh chords and things like that. And then there are moving chords, which are things like dominant sevenths, half diminished chords, but then you also get things like minor sixth chords, which are kind of a bit minor, a bit static, and also a bit mobile as well. So the minor sixth sound, I might not get around to it in this video, but that's kind of an interesting way to extend this idea. But I'm just going to stay with the standard minor pentatonics for a bit, okay? So if we choose a progression like Autumn Leaves in G minor, our first three chords are G minor 7th, F7, and B flat major 7th and E flat major 7th, first four chords, sorry. So for that first chord, C minor 7th, I don't know where E minor came from, C minor 7th, we can play obviously C minor pentatonic. Okay? But in order to apply it on the other chords, we need to have a way of relating that minor pentatonic to those other chords. So one thing we can use is the power of relative major and minor. So the relative major of C minor, for instance, is upper minor third, and it's E flat major. So over this chord and the last chord, first and last chord of the progression, we can play our minor pentatonic. Work perfectly well over both chords, okay? Over the B flat major 7th, we can also use the relative minor, going down a minor third this time, because G minor. So, what does that leave us with? It leaves us with the F7. And for this chord, we're going to use a very simple relationship, which is the 2-5 relationship. So, C minor, F7, we're going to think of that as the same thing. So we're going to play a C minor over the F7 as well. And that, although it doesn't have this third in, that gives it kind of more of a suspended sound. So you don't have that third of the dominant, which is the, in this key it's A, right? You don't have that note. So it kind of makes it very kind of floating. And it sounds a bit like this. Okay, didn't quite catch the E flat there, but you get the idea, right? So it's just like two pentatonic scales, C minor, you can use a C minor again on the E flat. I'll just give you a demonstration of that. C minor. Okay, so that's very, very simple, okay? Now we're going to move to the next part of the progression. A half diminished is really a C minor in disguise, and you can see that it's a C minor in disguise because there's kind of a C minor shape going on in there, right? Okay, so we can play a C minor over that. D7, we're going to use our relationship, 2-5 relationship, so A minor goes over D7. And then, rather unsurprisingly, G minor pentatonic over G minor, right? So, C minor, C minor, G minor, C minor, C minor, okay, A minor, and G minor again, right? Okay. Blue scale off. Okay, that's all very well. We're using the minor pentatonic scales. We're using 3 different minor pentatonic scales actually, the C minor, the G minor, and the A minor to map out its progression. Right, a couple of things to make it sound a bit cooler. First thing is if you want to make a neutral sound, one of those majors or minors, a bit richer, you can actually play up a fifth. It's always worked. So for instance, if I've got a nice voicing for, an F major chord, for instance, let's try this one. Isn't that pretty? Then you can put that on top of the B flat major. Sorry, I'll make that a bit clearer. Yeah? And that gives you, in fact, in this case, a sort of B flat major 9 sharp 11 sound, right? So this gives you a little bit more of a kind of way of enriching the sound of the basic chord, playing F major over B flat. Let's choose another sound, very simple, like an F major triad. Put out of a B flat, and you have this kind of nice open Steely Dan sort of chord. So do the same thing with minor, right? So if we take the C minor, we can play G minor at the top of that. So C minor's here, G minor's there. And then you get that. Now, the first place I learned how to do this on was by looking at Wayne Shorter's solo on Yes and No, where he plays it on the first 2 chords quite a lot. So his first chord is like sus. Let's play A major pentatonic or F sharp minor pentatonic on the D major. Okay, that's a really cool sound. Another way of looking at it is you're playing the minor pentatonic on the third of the major 7th sound. Got there again. Okay, so how we can do this is instead of playing C minor on the first chord, we can play G minor, C minor. Excuse the washing machine. C minor on the F7, D minor, around the third, right, of B flat 7. The third again of E flat major. We're playing G minor. Okay, let's try those few first ones, or those first few chords, should I say. G minor, C minor, D minor, G minor. Okay, nice, huh? Right, okay. So, next thing we can do, which makes it really cool, is we can apply a tritone substitution. Now this goes a little bit outside perhaps what's acceptable within conventional chord scale theory, but it gives us a little touch of outside. So the F7, instead of playing C minor 7th, we are playing up a half step from F7 to B flat pentatonic, right? So, have a listen to this. First few chords. Okay, so that's what it does is on the last three chords, which is A half diminished, D altered, and G minor, you can play C minor pentatonic. Okay. And then we're going to go, so play A minor, we're going to play a tritone away, which is E flat minor. Then back down to D minor over to G minor, right? Might be a little bit confusing, all these superpositions, you'll get used to it, okay? Right, so the first one, G minor, down a half step, and then down to D, pentatonic. Then down to G minor pentatonic, right? Then it's C minor, E flat minor pentatonic, D minor pentatonic. Have a listen to this. Just enough grit in the oyster to make the pearl, I think, and a bit of outside there going on. Okay, now there's another way to play pentatonic to make it work over an altered dominant, which is probably a little bit more, quotes, correct, and that's to play a minor third above the dominant of the minor pentatonic. So, for instance, in the case of F7, that's going to work out to be B flat minor pentatonic. A flat minor pentatonic. So it resolves really nicely down to that G minor if we choose to use that. So we could do this: G minor pentatonic, G flat, sorry, G sharp. Yeah, cool, huh? Let's try that again. So I'm going G up a half step, and then I can go down again or go to D minor depending on what I feel like. Okay, then over this one we go C minor pentatonic, and then we go up a half step, remember? So, sorry, up a minor third, beg your pardon, to F. So, okay, let's try that. Pretty cool, right? Now, okay, so that's all great. The next step would be to incorporate perhaps some of these Lydian sounds, and I was hinting at that actually there. So, I mean, speaking diatonically, we might only want to use it over the E flat. And the way we do that is we just do a pentatonic, a minor pentatonic, a semitone down. So, if we play on the B flat, then we do that over the E flat. Get E flat 7 sharp 11, and then this. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to hear like there's some really interesting sounds going on here from very simple materials. If I wanted to play the altered and the Lydian sound here, then I would maybe start off with a G minor, up a half step, D, stay on that for 2 chords, and then C minor, then down to F, is it F right? Yeah. You know what, even though that's scalically more correct, I really do like the sound of these semitone slips around, you know, these things. You do both of them. Oh, that's interesting. Right, the last last thing I want to talk about is how we can alter the minor pentatonic. So instead of just playing a ordinary seventh, I can extend the seventh. I can actually put the seventh up a semitone, and then we get this ordinary minor pentatonic down a half step. Okay, now to D. Do it here. Interesting scale, right? Okay, let's try that. Have a listen to this. Yeah, so hopefully that'll give you something to think about. Like, learning how to relate these sounds to different chords is actually one of the most effective things you can do to learn how to play changes. So hopefully that gives you something to think about. Thanks for watching.